great athletes that has ever put on a helmet.
Touchdown, he did it again!
Equally as effective as a blocker and a receiver, a true tough guy.
He was stout and strong. This guy is a nightmare with the ball in his hands.
When you hit that field, I need everything you got. Play together. Play fast. Hey, Rams gonna make plays out there. Let's go.
He'll toss it back to Brady. It's a flea flicker. He steps into a throw down the right side. Edelman wide open. Back pedaling, makes the catch into the end zone. Tackled for Patriots. Touchdown.
Good job, fellas. Way to run, sweet feet.
Delayed rush. Mahomes throwing off the back foot. He wants McCall. Hard run. He's got the catch at the 15. Jukes at the 10. 5.
Make plays right there, baby. Good job, baby. Good luck to you on the rest of this series, man. Good luck to you on the rest of this. Great game, man.
Big win for the Chiefs, moved them into third in the AFC playoff picture with a shot to move into second if New England falters down the stretch. That would give them a first-round bye. If they don't get that and they stay in the 3, they could end up facing Pittsburgh in the first round. Steelers currently in the 6th spot, riding a 3-game winning streak and set to face the 5 seed this week, hosting the Bills on Sunday in Pittsburgh, where Didi Kinkabwala joins us now.
Lindsay, there are defenses that teams win with, and there are defenses that teams win because of. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, he certainly knows about the latter. He was Tampa Bay's defensive coordinator when it was that defense that helped the Bucs win a Super Bowl, and his defenses when he first got here to Pittsburgh definitely fell into that category. But now Tomlin didn't want to draw a link from those defenses to the one he has right now. He said that those reputations are built with solid play in December and January. Well, okay, midway through December, this Steelers defense leads the NFL with 48 sacks. This defense has a turnover in every single game. And this defense certainly is making life easier for undrafted rookie quarterback Duck Hodges. Also potentially making life easier for Hodges, the return of Juju Smith-Schuster and James Conner. Both should be on the practice field tomorrow, and Tomlin said they both could play come Sunday night. Lindsay?
Pittsburgh 6th in scoring. Bills are 2nd, so this game should be fun for people like you, D. Hall, who appreciate that kind of thing. Should be fun for people like you, too, Sean O'Hara, because there is an undrafted guy who's coming into his own at quarterback, Duck Hodges. D. Hall, what does he need to do in this one?
You know what? He just needs to continue to be himself. He can't try to go out and do too much. If Duck Devlin Hodges just sits here and doesn't turn the football over, this defense is good enough to win a lot of football games, as we've seen with this 3-game win streak. Look, he came in the Bengals game, willed them to a win, 16-10, beat Arizona and the Browns. What you're seeing with this Steelers defense is, look, if we can take the football away and not turn it over offensively, we got a chance. Being a defensive guy, that's all our coaches preached about, was how the percentages changed when you got a turnover, when you got 1, when you got 2, when you got 3. And so Mike Tomlin's message is, hey, let's protect the football. He had to go with Duck Devlin Hodges in this case because Mason Rudolph just was turning the ball over too much.
I love that you went Snoop Dogg right there.
Yes,
doing too much. That's his team, the Steelers. That's what Duck's got to do, really, just take care of the football. Don't try to win the football game with one big throw. When you look at this Buffalo Bills defense, Lindsay, they've only given up 1 touchdown over 20 yards in the passing game. So it's not going to be an aerial assault. I think just kind of take what the defense is giving you. Don't lose the game in the first half. Get that game. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense is built to win the game in the fourth quarter. Let your teammates help you get it there.
Yeah, and you know what'll help this team is they're playing Buffalo. Buffalo is not going to overwhelm you offensively, and so they're not going to be trying to chase the Bills down because they're down 21 points. This is going to be a defensive battle, and I think Pittsburgh can win this game.
Yeah, speaking of defensive battle, Josh Allen's going to have his hands full with this Steelers defense. Look, they may not be the steel curtain of Terry Bradshaw's days, but when you look at Josh Allen, he really struggled last week against Baltimore. He got sacked 6 times. Lindsay, if you're going to ask Josh Allen to throw the ball 39 times, I think that's a loss for Buffalo. Yeah. That's not who they want to be offensively, and really Josh Allen struggled on 3rd down. I didn't think he saw the blitz very well, and I think they struggled to get Cole Beasley the football on 3rd down. He struggled to get off of some of that press coverage. So Josh Allen's got to play better on 3rd down. He's got to get rid of that football. No burping the baby when you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. T.J. Watt will have none of that.
Steelers, Bills currently in the wild card spots in the AFC. Texans are in the 4th spot, and the Titans are fighting to get into the playoffs. They could do that by winning the division. That's one road. As of right now, they're tied with the Texans at 8-5, and they play them twice down the stretch once this week. Titans have won 4 straight, and the Texans are coming off a loss to the Broncos after beating the Patriots. This is a team that's been all over the map. One thing, though, that has been consistent is that the defense has not been very good this year. For all we've talked about Deshaun Watson and things going well offensively, look at these numbers, you guys.
Yeah.
They're one of the worst in the league, and they are the worst that is currently in the playoffs on the AFC side. Is this going to be a problem for them moving forward, D-Hall?
It absolutely would be a problem. And Lindsay, I was always caught up in the one game they played great, or the couple plays they made and looked amazing. And you pointed out to me, like, look, you got to look at these numbers. They are consistently been bad, and I think that's kind of the mantra with this defense now. They do give up plays, and I think because they score so many points and that offense is so dynamic, you tend to forget that, hey, we are giving up a lot of points. We're giving up a lot of yards. You see that they're dead last in third down percentage. If you can't get off the field and give the ball back to this explosive offense, you can't win. And so, yeah, I don't have too much confidence in the Houston Texans moving forward.
That's one thing they got to fix is that third down defense. Because if you get off the field on third down, all those other numbers will come down. This is a tough defense, tough offense to do that against. This Titans offense is pounding the rock. Derrick Henry, I know he's got a bum hamstring right now, but he leads the league in yards after contact. So you get him downhill, no corner, no safety wants to come up and meet that guy. And then to complement him, Ryan Tannehill has benefited from him. And he's done a great job with the play-action passing game. I tell you what, I've turned on the film of Ryan Tannehill. I don't recognize this guy.
No, he's a different
I didn't know Tannehill had to go to Tennessee to all of a sudden find his groove, but he has. And he's making big-time throws like this back to his tight end. He's finding A.J. Brown in stride. These throws, these receivers are snatching them out of the air like that right there. I mean, when you could just throw your hand up right there and the ball's on you, I mean, now all of a sudden the run after the catch is there. This offense has been explosive. So I think this is a tough matchup for the Texas defense, and it's because of Ryan Tannehill's play.
Ryan Tannehill looks like a totally different guy. Good enough to kick off this week's FedEx Air and Ground nominees after that nearly 400-yard and 3-touchdown performance against the Raiders. He was really close. Jimmy Garoppolo went toe-to-toe with Drew Brees and beat him 4 touchdowns in that score fest in New Orleans. Phillip Rivers with a 154 passer rating in a dominant game against the Jags. As for the ground, your nominees are Aaron Jones, who had a $134 on the ground for the Packers, Derrick Henry, who punched in 2 touchdowns for the Titans and played after a hamstring injury, 6 carries and 48 yards after he got hurt. Nick Chubb notched over 100 yards rushing for the 6th time this season in the Browns' win against the Bengals. All right, you decide the winners here. You have until 3 o'clock Eastern on Thursday at NFL.com/FedEx to vote, and we will reveal the winner later that night on Total Access after the game. Still ahead on this show, Cam Newton has won an MVP, and he's been to a Super Bowl. Eli Manning has won 2 MVPs in 2 Super Bowls. After the break, odd questions to be asking about these guys, right? Is Cam about to be traded? Is Eli about to be done? That's next.
Catch up on Sunday's biggest plays with extensive highlights from the entire day's slate of games.
Look who played last night for the Giants. Eli Manning, who threw 2 touchdowns against the Eagles and for the injured Daniel Jones. And he did that in front of his wife, Abby, who rarely traveled to Philadelphia in the past, reportedly because of the rough crowd experiences. So why did she go to this game? That is a question that Eli was asked afterward.
I haven't played in 3 months, so, and you don't know if I'm going to play again. So I think it's pretty obvious why it was important. I'm just going to take it 1 week at a time and just see what the coaches are telling me, find ways to improve and help out the team and try to get a win.
Don't know if I'm going to play again, he said, Sean O'Hara. You obviously played with him for a while. What are your thoughts on what's likely to happen to him moving forward? Because it seems like his time in New York is done, even though it also looks like he's going to play this week. But after this season, could you see him playing for someone else?
I couldn't see Eli playing for somebody else, to be honest with you. I don't think he could wholeheartedly put on another uniform. Now, that's just me talking, but I think playing quarterback for the New York Giants meant something to him. It's not just a job title. And I think for him to have played last night and to get a chance, I don't know who that big fat kid is
different.
right there. But I think when you look at that, he thought he was done. That's it. When you get benched and when you're no longer playing, you don't know if you're going to get another shot. So for him to get to play in that game the other night and maybe gets to play next week too, I think he's just savoring the moment. And I think he would love to keep playing, but I think when you've played for one team your entire career and it means that much to you, I don't know that he would want to go and play for another team.
If he does want to play again, do you think that there will be a team there that wants him to do that for them?
I can't sit here and point out a team right now and say, hey, Eli would fit perfect in that offense. I think the game has just changed a little bit. I think you need to be a little bit more mobile than Eli is at this particular time in his career. And, I'm an Eli fan. I was in the same draft as Eli. I followed his career. I was fortunate enough to come to the NFC East and do battle against Eli. And, he's burnt me just as many times as I've probably, made plays against him. And so there's no doubt in my mind this guy can play. I tend to think of it a little bit differently. I know Sean doesn't think Eli will play anywhere else. I think he would absolutely love to put on any other jersey for someone who wants him there.
Maybe the Colts.
Maybe that would be very eerie right there. But I think he'd go wherever anyone would take him because he still you can look in his face and tell he still has that passion and desire to still play.
I think he has somebody who could point him in the direction of like all the best restaurants in town and stuff like that. Eli Manning, the focus of our Next Gen stats powered by AWS this week. Last night against the Eagles, got the ball out quick. That's one thing he is still doing well, averaging just 2.52 seconds to throw. That's substantially faster than the rookie quarterback, Daniel Jones, who averaged 2.88 seconds to throw this season. All right, the question in Carolina might be how fast can they find a trade partner for Cam Newton after the end of this season? According to Ian Rappaport, his sources are saying that the Panthers' plan is to try and find a trade partner for their former MVP quarterback. Carolina has to decide whether to pay him $21.1 million next season or to cut him and save $19 million, or obviously the other scenario is to find a trade partner. What's the best move for them?
I think you keep Cam Newton. It's not, look, $21 million is a lot of money, but in relative terms, when we talk about the quarterback market, it's not a lot of money for an elite quarterback. And a lot of people I've talked to seem to think Cam Newton is an elite quarterback. I don't tend to lead that conversation, but some guys I've talked to in that Panthers organization, that's why when I heard this news, it's a little bizarre because they kind of, what I heard was that they wanted him to play this last year out and kind of prove it. But I don't know if Cam can play the way he plays, the dynamicness in which he plays and using his body and really being another running back and sustain that level of play. I don't think he's a very accurate passer. And so it kind of limits what you can do. You have to almost play gimmicky football with Cam at the quarterback position.
There's a lot of question marks in Carolina. Who's going to be the new head coach? What's the offense going to look like? If you're going to trade a player, the first thing you have to do is assess the value. I don't know what Cam's value is. I don't know if we're talking about dab Cam. I don't know if we're talking about Cam coming off of 2 shoulder surgeries. I don't know if we're talking about Cam 100% coming off the foot injury. I had a Liz Frank injury. I never played again. And I think for a big guy like Cam, he is taller than I am. He's about 260 pounds. When you have a foot injury and you're a big guy like that, there's no guarantee that you're going to come back and be that same guy. So if we take Superman, if we take his cape off and he can't do what he did best, what got him to 15-1 and what got him to the Super Bowl, I don't know what his value is. So that's a big question for the Carolina Panthers. To your point, maybe the best value is let's keep him and see if we can get some more wins out of him and see it, let him and Kyle Allen battle it out. But if you're another team, I think you're going to be very hard-pressed to try to trade value and trade money and future draft picks for a guy who may not be back to himself.
And on the reverse of that, Cam is already a different personality to try to deal with in a locker room. And so you bring all of those factors into the equation and not really being a great player. I've always heard great players can tend to get away with a little bit of things. When when that skill level drops a little bit, they tend to not want to deal with you as much.
You better have a stylist on your team if you're going to trade for Cam. He's bringing it.
I don't know if you're bringing in a new coach if you want to add a quarterback controversy on their plate, like right out of the gate. Here's Kyle and here's Cam, and have fun with that.
Yeah.
So the position of tight end is considered to be something of a hybrid, having the characteristics of both a wide receiver and an offensive lineman. After the break, why there has been no better week 2